There is a national park in northern Sweden where the Park Service does not control access, does not mark routes, and does not protect you. Sarek National Park sits in northern Sweden, above the Arctic Circle. And it is the opposite of every other national park on the continent. No roads cutting through the interior, no marked trails, no visitor centers, no infrastructure designed to guide movement. Once you enter, you are responsible for yourself. The landscape operates on its own terms, which is why most people never enter it at all. Unstructured by choice. Most national parks in Europe are designed to be experienced. Routes are maintained. Movement is guided. Risk is reduced through infrastructure. Sarek is structured in the opposite direction. It is protected by remaining unstructured. There are no roads because the decision was made not to build them. There are no marked trails because the decision was made to leave navigation to the visitor. There is no visitor infrastructure because the conservation philosophy is to preserve the landscape by not organizing it for access. This is not a lack of resources. It is a choice. The Swedish government could have built access routes. They chose not to, which means the difficulty of Sarek is not incidental. It is the definition of what Sarek is. If you wanted to visit most European parks, you could walk off the trail and still encounter management. In Sarek, the absence of management is permanent. You are responsible for your own safety in a landscape that has not been modified to prevent accidents. That responsibility is the park's actual feature, the terrain. Sarek contains over 200 peaks and roughly 100 glaciers compressed into roughly 2,000 square kilometers. The terrain is not just mountainous, it is intersecting. Peaks overlap. Valleys cut across each other at unexpected angles. Rivers divide the landscape into systems that are difficult to traverse without prior knowledge. A map shows the overview, but it does not show the operational reality. A valley that appears close might be separated from your current location by a river you cannot cross due to flow and temperature. A peak that looks like a viewpoint might be 3 hours of scrambling away with no straightforward route to the top. Understanding Sarek requires navigation, not observation, which means you do not experience the landscape by standing at viewpoints. You experience it by moving through it, making decisions continuously based on conditions rather than predetermined routes. This is what the absence of trails means in practice. You are not following a path someone else has decided is safe. You are creating your own path, based on terrain reading and risk assessment. Glacial rivers, the moving boundaries. Rivers define movement in Sarek. They are not small streams. They are glacial rivers, 5 to 20 meters wide depending on melt rate, water temperature 4°C even in summer, velocity high enough that crossing without equipment is dangerous. This creates operational boundaries. An area that looks close on a map may be completely inaccessible in practice. A river that can be crossed in the morning becomes impassable by afternoon as melt rates increase with temperature. Crossing points shift. Water levels fluctuate throughout the day. There are no bridges, no designated fording locations, no infrastructure to assist movement. This introduces a temporal dimension to navigation. You do not just plan a route. You plan a route that accounts for water levels and temperature. You wait for conditions to become crossable, or you detour, adding days to a journey that the map suggests should take hours. In Sarek, distance is not measured only in kilometers. It is measured in crossability, which means the landscape rewrites your plans continuously. Glacier systems. Sarek's glaciers are not static remnants. They are active systems that carve valleys, feed rivers, and define water systems. But they are changing, retreating, losing surface area as temperatures shift. Exposed rock replaces ice. Crevasse patterns change. Meltwater systems shift location and intensity. What this means operationally, a glacier that appeared stable in previous years may be unstable now. A safe walking route across ice becomes dangerous. A source of meltwater shifts location, which changes the hydrology of entire valleys downstream. The landscape is not becoming more stable as glaciers retreat. It is becoming less predictable. More variables are exposed. More unknowns emerge. The systems that were working are now in transition. Which means Sarek is not just difficult because of the terrain, it is difficult because the terrain is actively changing. And those changes are not published in guidebooks. Arctic weather AS constraint. Above the Arctic Circle, weather is not background. It is an active constraint on movement. Conditions change rapidly. Temperature shifts can be 15 C within hours. Visibility can reduce from kilometers to meters in minutes. Wind can reach gusts that affect balance and increase body temperature loss significantly. There is no infrastructure to compensate. No shelters placed along routes. No controlled entry points. No systems designed to protect visitors from sudden change. Which means weather is not something you experience at Sarek. Weather is something you negotiate with. You do not plan routes. You plan for weather. You do not set departure times. You set them based on forecasts and wind speeds. You do not assume you can move at a certain pace. You assume conditions might force you to stop. This is what unstructured wilderness means in practice. The environment defines the experience, not the infrastructure around it. Sarek through Sami knowledge. Sarek is part of the traditional lands of the Sami people, whose presence in this region extends far beyond modern concepts of national parks or protected areas. For most visitors, Sarek is remote. Sarek is often described as wilderness, but the word is frequently misunderstood. Most parks protect wilderness while providing access. Trails are maintained. Risks are reduced, restricted, but because visiting requires commitment that most are not prepared to make. You must be willing to navigate without guidance, to move without predetermined routes, to take responsibility for your own safety in a system that has not been engineered to prevent accidents. What is missed is not a location. There is no iconic feature that represents the park. What is missed is the nature of the experience itself. A landscape without control, without simplification, without the infrastructure that defines all other parks. Closing. Sarek National Park does not function like other parks in Europe. It is not designed to be accessible. It is not organized to be understood quickly. There is no infrastructure to simplify the landscape. No roads, no marked trails, no imposed structure. What exists is the original system, unmodified. And because the landscape operates on its own terms, not on terms designed for human comfort or observation, most people are not prepared to enter it. Not because they are excluded, but because the park requires something that other parks do not: operational knowledge, continuous decision-making, and a willingness to meet the environment on its own terms. Sarek is one of the least visited parks in Europe, not because it is hidden, not because it is restricted, but because it has never been simplified. Which means what defines this park is not the landscape itself, it is the absence of the infrastructure that turns landscape into experience. If this changed how you see Sarek, there is more beneath the surface. The guide in the description covers how to access the park, the river crossing logistics, the glacier systems and their current conditions, and the navigation fundamentals for moving through one of Europe's least simplified landscapes. Just click the link below to get started.